Okay guys, today we're going to create a piece of art on the book Snowy Day, which is one of my all-time favorite books, and it's all about Peter, and he wakes up and there's just all this beautiful snow, and he can't wait to go outside and play. So he puts on his red snowsuit and he goes outside and he does all the things that he likes to do in the snow, leave footprints. He likes to drag his feet and leave lines, likes to go sledding, climb the hills. What do you like to do in the snow? And what you like to do may help you decide which Peter you're going to use. Okay, so you're going to get a sheet from your teacher of all different kinds of little drawings that look like Peter. And you can do, depending on your teacher, you can either draw them by using these as a guide, or you can color him. And if you color him, don't worry about getting outside the lines, okay? Because you're gonna end up cutting him out. And this is the one that I'm gonna use today, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a beautiful landscape, all right? And there's really no wrong way to do this. You just kind of want to have a nice curved line. You can make your hill go high at the top and low at the bottom. You can make it curvy all the way across. You can make it straight across if you want. It's all up to you, okay? So what you're going to do though is you don't want to spend a lot of time like drawing and erasing this, okay? So you're just going to draw it one time. So I'm just going to go ahead and use a Sharpie. You can do it with pencil first and then go over it with Sharpie if you want. But I think I'm just going to do a hill. And when you guys do this, you want to leave some of the paper white, because whatever you leave white is going to be the snow. Okay? All right. So this is my snow, and then this is going to be my sky. All right? So in order to get these cool, like looking windy parts in your sky, what you can do is you can put a pipe cleaner underneath. So I'll show you what that looks like. And you can kind of bend it to make it look more wavy, like wind. Or you can also just use yarn if you want under here, you guys. And then you're gonna take a crayon. I'm gonna use blue. But you can use whatever color you want, or what your teacher asks you to use, okay? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna kind of press down, and you're gonna use the flat side of your crayon. And you're just gonna go over the top and do a good job. You don't have to color really hard, because the part that where the pipe cleaner is gonna be darker automatically. And you want it to look kind of snowy, so try your best to stay in the lines on this one. Don't go into the snow if you can help it. Move your pipe cleaner if you want. I want to move my pipe cleaner over so I get some windy looking sky over here. Isn't that cool? That is called a rubbing. When you put something under your paper and then rub a crayon or a pencil over the top. And it creates texture in art. And texture is a good thing because it adds visual interest, okay? So I'm gonna put that in another spot, and then I'm just gonna color. And you wanna leave some of it just plain. You don't wanna have these lines all the way through it, because then it doesn't stand out, right? So that's called contrast in art. When one thing looks dark and one thing looks light, or one thing is round and one thing is square, it's called contrast. Okay. And again, I'm using like the side, not the tip of my crayon. I'm using the side of my crayon. And I am going in all one direction. Well, I'm not going one direction, but I'm going all horizontally. So I'm not going vertical and diagonal. I'm just going across the paper like this, okay? And like I said, feel free to move your pipe cleaner or yarn or whatever you have under there, wherever you want. As you color, you can move it. And these lines that I'm creating with that pipe cleaner underneath look like wind, which creates another principle of art called movement. Yeah. And this is implied movement, right? So it looks like the sky is windy. It's not actually windy, but it looks like it. I'm gonna move it out of there because I'm done. I flip my paper a lot, and you guys can do that too if it helps you stay going horizontally when you're coloring on this particular piece. So there, ooh, it looks like a windy day. So that looks pretty cool. So now what I'm gonna do is, I already colored my Peter. Okay, so it's okay to color outside the lines because you're gonna cut this out. All right, so this is the first way that you can do it. And I'm gonna show you a couple other ways too. But so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut straight across his feet. You don't have to do everything at once. And sometimes when you're cutting things out, you feel like you have to cut it all out in one big line, like peeling an orange, but you don't have to do that. Okay, you can just cut out one part at a time if you want. And what you do is you put your scissors and you kind of move the art, not your scissors, when you're cutting, okay? And there are some small pieces, so do your best, but if it's not perfect, it's okay, because you know what, his drawings in this are pretty abstract. That means, abstract means it doesn't look exactly like a little kid looks in a snowsuit, right? Even these drawings look a little different. And then this is probably the most important part of your art today on this piece. So take your time and do a good job, okay? And if you really super mess up, like you cut off his leg or something, you can always color a different Peter and start over, but don't start over too many times. Just don't be too much of a perfectionist, okay? Just do your best to do your best, and that's all you can do. Sometimes it's easy if you think about cutting in triangles or cutting off just pieces of the paper. I'm going to cut this triangle here around his thumb. Okay, so I've got my Peter, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a good place where I want him. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put him all the way, actually I'm going to put him all the way over here. And I'm going to use a scrap piece of paper. I'm just going to use one of these. And then I'm going to take my glue stick and turn him over. And I'm going to put glue, and I'm going to be gentle, but cover his whole body with glue just one time. I'm going to put him down where I want him to be. And then you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blue crayon again, and I'm going to make some, remember how in the book he had footprints in the snow? I'm going to make some footprints. Okay, and those are just little round ovals underneath his feet. Don't go crazy with this, okay? Sometimes less is more in art. And there we have it. It's a scene from Snowy Day. Looks pretty cool, huh? So let me show you how to do a different version of this, okay? So that is when you color and cut him out. This one is another scene that I've already created. And another way that you can do this is you can use a template that your teacher gives you, and you're just gonna trace around. You're gonna trace around him so that you have that version on any color of construction paper that you want, or you can also hand draw, okay? And these are both gonna look pretty similar when they're done, okay? And when you hand draw them, you're gonna hand draw it right onto construction paper and then cut him out of the construction paper. Okay, so I'm gonna speed up the video now. There we go. And I'm gonna make him look like he's sliding down the hill, like that. And I'm gonna take my brown crayon and color his face. And I'm gonna give him some eyes too. I'm not gonna forget his eyes. All right, and when you add his eyes, it's really just 2 dots. And if I can find here's my marker. I'm just gonna use my marker. You guys might use a Sharpie. I'm using a different kind of permanent marker, but you're just gonna do his eyes, just 2 small dots and nothing else with the marker, just the outline of your hill and his eyes, okay? Ooh, he's sliding down the hill. Try to keep your fingers clean. And there you go. So that's one snowy day. And this is another snowy day version. And if you use the template, it's going to be similar to this, where you're going to trace it and then you're going to cut it out and you're going to place it onto your scene. Okay? Hope you guys have fun with this.